like to know why. All right, this is Sports for Real with Coach Hall. I accidentally left my backup microphone, so today I'm going to be doing a little brief program, natural sound, natural light. Talk a little bit of college football and a little bit of Jaguars. As you can see behind me, some of the fans still strolling in late. They've already kicked off. It's about 3 minutes in. A lot of football to be played. Just starting out yesterday, well, wasn't a whole lot of matchups in college football to be concerned about. A lot of cupcakes scheduled. You did have a couple interesting games. You had Oklahoma taking on Auburn, with Auburn's quarterback, a former member of the Sooners. Pretty good ball game. And he ended up knocking off Auburn late, which turned out to be, like I said, a pretty good game. I still don't have any confidence in Brent Venables, but right now he got the team undefeated. He's got a decent quarterback, and just like anybody else, they got a chance. And after knocking them off, that puts him in a better position to traverse that rugged SEC schedule. Now, on the flip side, you know that Venables, he had the opportunity to beat the Auburn coach, but he turned him down. He ended up getting the last guy before they fired him, and now Hugh Freeze is in there. But before he was offered that, he was a long-time defensive coordinator over at Clemson. And right now, Clemson, they got problems. They gave up a big halftime lead to Syracuse and couldn't really make a dent into it. Ended up getting beat. So now they stand at 1-3. Now, Dabo pretty much had a meltdown about people speculating that he might be fired because they off to a rough start. He pretty much say, well, if you're going to fire me for winning, go ahead. I'll go find somebody else and win there too. So if Clemson wants to get rid of me, let him do that. Well, that's before he lost this game. How you doing, Roman? Beiruz Alaverdiyev, I hope I said it right, Salam. And Axel 1414A says hello. I'm out here at the Jaguars game. I'm not really at the game. I'm just out in the atmosphere. As you can see behind me, a lot of fans still streaming in. And pretty decent matchup today. Houston's pretty much had Jacksonville's number the last couple of years, but Jacksonville is not the team they've been in the last couple of years. And they're going to be for a rude awakening if they think they're just going to stroll in here, especially with the offensive struggles that they have. But more on that later. Let me finish about Clemson. I've been saying before that Dabo Swinney is outdated. He's immersed in the old way of doing things. And even though he's been successful in a pretty much modern age, he's not wanting to adapt to the times. You know, right now, NIL is a new thing. And if you can't learn how to manage the NIL and you don't want to deal with that, then you got a problem. And it's starting to show because he doesn't like to dip into that portal. He wants to develop all his players. He doesn't realize if he develops those players, they still may turn around and leave him. Well, if he keeps losing ball games, and right now they're just not a good football team, he's going to find himself in a position where he can't get players under the NIL deals. And it's going to be a big problem. Now, you got to really be smart now with NIL because they just made the law change where they don't have two portal windows. They're going to open it in January only. Before, they opened it in the spring, and these players, what they would do, they would transfer in the spring, then transfer again, transfer in January, then transfer again in the spring if they felt like they got a better deal. So they cut that off. So you got to decide wisely as a player where you want to go. But at least now the players and the coaching staff, they can get to go through spring practice and have an idea about what they have instead of being surprised about what you get once the season starts. And if you understand what I mean, I'm talking about currently it's UCLA. They got a bad mix of NIL players, just like Florida State had a bad mix of NIL players last year. So I call it the NIL syndrome. If you don't pick right, you got a problem. So now at least, even if you pick wrong, you can go figure all that out in spring practice and then get ready for that when the fall comes. So that will reduce a lot of that happening to you. But Clemson, right now, they got a problem. But to answer your question, Axel, I am at the Jaguars-Texans game. And down here in Jacksonville, and you can see a lot of these fans down here, they like to stream in late. And another strange phenomenon about these Jaguar fans, they'll start leaving in the third quarter. I mean, I saw that at HBCUs. A lot of fans will go to the games, they see the bands, and then they will leave. I can almost understand that. But with the money it costs to go to an NFL game nowadays, I just don't see the logic of you paying all that money and just leaving early. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But they do what they want to do with their money. Now, as far as Indiana, I asked the question, do you think they're for real? So far, most of you saying that they are. Well, they came in last night. They hosted Illinois, Brett Bielema, and they are ranked number 19, where Illinois ranked number 9. Even though Illinois was ranked number 9, I saw lines as high as 18, 19 points. Well, I'm thinking, hell, if Illinois is good enough to be ranked number 9, then they should be able to not get beat so bad by Indiana. Well, lo and behold, those point totals were entirely too low. They got beat like 63-10. And for a ninth-ranked team to get beat like that by a team that's 10 spots below you, that got to be approaching some kind of a record. And I don't know what Bielema's issue was last night. Maybe they just didn't. Maybe they didn't just show up or whatever they did. But it sure showed last night that they aren't ready to compete on a high level. And the question is Indiana is. As you know, they got into the playoffs last year. They hosted Indiana in the. They hosted Notre Dame, I believe. Or they may have went to Notre Dame. I can't remember, but they did play Notre Dame, and they got beat in that first round of the college football playoffs. But having learned from that, looks like Illinois or Indiana, it's going to be somebody you're going to have to deal with. Now, can they keep up with the USCs? Can they keep up with the Ohio States? That remains to be seen. Now, all these teams, because of all the extra teams they have in these leagues now, the schedules are pretty much balanced. So you may not play everybody in your league, but you're going to play a tough schedule no matter who you play. So if you duck somebody, it's all going to come out in the wash because you're going to play a couple tough teams. And the two teams that make it to the championship game are going to be worthy of being in those positions. So it'll be interesting to see how they go. Now, down here in the NFL, we saw that the Texans, they played, was it Sunday night or Monday night? Stunk up the joint offensively. They can't run the football, and when Stroud tried to drop back the pass, he couldn't throw the ball. And Houston was supposed to be this much improved team. They're not functioning as such. So when they come here to Jacksonville, the question is, are they going to be able to run the football? And I don't think they're going to be able to run the football, and I don't think they're going to be able to beat Jacksonville. Am I a Jacksonville fan? No, I'm not a Jacksonville fan. I'm a football fan, and I'm going to call it just like I see it. And right now, Jacksonville seems to be on an upward trajectory. They lost the game last week. They dropped some critical passes. They made some critical turnovers. And Trevor Lawrence threw some critical interceptions in the red zone, one of them in the end zone. You can't do that if you want to reach the next level. So I said at the beginning of the season, yes, Jacksonville's made all of these improvements, but the question is, can Trevor Lawrence improve? They made all the concessions for him. They didn't blame him for anything, but his play was subpar last year. And he's going to have to step up, or he's going to be the next person that leaves out of town. He's going to be right behind Doug Peterson and Press Taylor. So if he plays well and he doesn't throw the ball away, then they should be able to handle the Texans today. But I got this thing that I do with Fango Media, so once the game is over with, I'm actually going to talk to the fans and get their opinions on what they thought about today's game, and pretty interesting deal. And they have a person like me at most NFL stadiums. I know we did last year in every stadium. They kind of cut it down to a limited capacity this year. But if you want to go see what your fellow fans have to say about their teams, go to Fango Media and look at past videos, or you can get shorts, and you can get an idea about the way fans feel about their teams. And last week, they didn't have a whole lot of good things to say about those Texans. And they pretty much, though, guarantee that they can come in Jacksonville and beat them because of what's happened in the past. But you know what you do in the past don't excite people because it's not now. You care about what you did yesterday. What are you going to do today? And that's all I'm concerned about. What are the Texans going to do today? But right now, I think Jacksonville just kicked the field goal. We got to go check the scores. I'm going to go ahead and check the game out. But I just wanted to come on and say a little bit about college football last night in Indiana and the way they played. And one other note, the Florida Gators They lost last night at Miami. Their offense is killing them. They got a quarterback that's making a lot of mistakes, and he's missing receivers. And when he's not missing receivers, he's running for his life. Now they had a little run there where they started moving the football, but when it got down to make the critical conversion, they couldn't do it. But the Gators have a good defense, and if they can get 21 to 24 points a game from their offense, then the Gators are going to be pretty good in the end. But right now, they're not at that level. And as you can see, these Jaguar fans, here it is, almost the second quarter, they're still filing in like it's kickoff time. That just let you know a lot of these guys around here are just fair weather. So I just like to be out here and enjoy the atmosphere with them. And like I say, I'll be chatting with them when they come out of the stadium. And meanwhile, I'm just going to hang around and absorb the atmosphere, talk to a few fans between now and then, and go from there. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and sign on out. The question was, is Indiana for real? Most of you are saying yes. I'm starting to think they're for real, but I need to see them perform like that against a team that actually shows up besides in Illinois. Because Brett Bielema is a pretty good coach, and for them to lay an egg like that when they're supposed to be the 9th-rated team in the nation doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So we'll see how it goes from that point. But in the meantime, enjoy these Sunday games, man. A lot of good matchups today. And I'm going to go peruse and find out what's going on everywhere else besides here in Jacksonville. But you see these fans here, they just strolling in. They're kind of like me. They just come to check out the scene. They ain't really worried about no game. But in the meantime, I catch you guys about 5 o'clock, 4:45, 5 o'clock with an update post-game and see if we can talk to a few other fans on the way out the stadium. So until then, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. I'm out.